something that already exists. So that's why, and since for me, like I don't know, if a lot of people on this call are people who already know me. So I want to spend time doing introduction or introducing myself. But you know that my name is Bukola Ijoma. I'm a natural health doctor, a herbalist, and of course, I'm founder of BioNaturals. And there's a history, of course, something led me to start this business. It was the loss of my dad, and that just opened my eyes to discover that our health system and even everything that I thought I knew about life, body, health, and all that was false until I went into this line. And since 2015, my dad died. But of course, since 2015, it's been studying, growing, and up till now. The next level for me now is I'm applying for my PhD. I just finished my master's in herbal medicine. Next is PhD. So having said all of that, the reason for this webinar, like I said, is in 2026, presently, if you listen to news in Western world, presently they're already talking about another outbreak of some virus or some diseases somewhere or whatever. We know that presently also there's a rise of, a whole lot of issues of health. People, even young, yesterday I was still in a session with an 18-year-old girl that had been having, menstrual issues. And then I led her to do some tests. They found out that she, we're able to discover that she was having early stage of PCOS. Now, this is at 18 years. If she didn't do this at 18, she would have thought these things were normal, and just continue with it. Then when she gets into the years where she wants to have children, and it starts becoming difficult, now be as if what's wrong with me, they'll start treating one thing, or maybe that's when they will discover the PCOS. But by that time, it would have been strong. And PCOS ordinarily it's something that has to do with your insulin level. So it's even her body talking to her early, because that's the sign of issues with your insulin. So it's always very important to have the right knowledge. I was happy because her mom has always been a back follow-up. She doesn't play with her, and I always tell people I believe in some ways I'm healthy like this, because I also had a mom who introduced me, for example, when it comes to women things, to a gynae at the age of 16. And this gynae taught me everything I should know about my reproductive system. And that has guided me and helped me all. So I believe in information, giving knowledge. Knowledge is power. Even sometimes we share things that people, the fact that they hear it, when they get the opportunity to, when you are exposed to certain things, the fact that information has been passed to you, one way or the other, you will apply it. Now, it's because it's like a seed which will grow in your heart. And that's why I take my honesty. To be honest, if you ask my assistant, I said I'm not prepared. I'm never prepared for these seminars. These webinars. I always want to run away from it. But somehow, I cannot, because my main aim is to help every one of us here. Because there are certain things that can be prevented. Like my dad's case, was having pain, and he was using painkillers. Meanwhile, if I knew what I know now, he won't use those painkillers that was damaging his kidney and other part of his organs. He won't use them. And he would have overcome, like we've done with my mom. So that's my main. The major issue is that right now there's a lot of rising cases of chronic diseases now, And this is because trying to be healthy. Why so many people are sick despite trying to be healthy? There's a rising case of chronic disease. Then there's dependency on medication. That's another big issue. You see that I know a lot of people, which I also used to do in the past. You have cold, running nose or something, you see signs of running nose, we're running to buy flu cold. Those was cold. What are those names? Either Piriton, all those funny, those medications, those things, they don't even treat, they don't even heal what is doing it. They just mask that thing for you, and then the problem still remains. So eventually they cause more problems in the body. So there's also the issue of fatigue, pain, immunity, and then people are taking it as normal. So you feel tired regularly. You think it's normal. It's not normal. Pain, sometimes you feel pain. You think it's normal. You think, no, pain is a sign of inflammation going on in your body. and you need to find out what it is. You need to know what to do with it. And a lot of people who just even children. The funny part is a mother was telling me that the daughter told her she was having headache, and then before you know, she went to give her ibuprofen. I was like, a girl of maybe like 4 years. How does she know what headache is that she'll be able to describe headache for you to now go and give ibuprofen at that age? Which of course a lot of our parents do. I used to do it for my son too before I got knowledge, So they're not normal. Prevention ignored until sickness appears. So sometimes we see symptoms, or we know what to do, or there are things you could do to maintain your body, to take care of your body, which we will refuse to do it until then the sickness comes in, and then people want to start looking for treatment. So my main aim now is to help you take action on prevention. Don't wait for the sickness to come. And if it's already there, know how to get better with it. And that's what this is all about. That's why I'm doing it. And I'm doing this. I decided to do this at the beginning of this year because I know that at the beginning of the year, everybody is energetic with these are the rules. This is my what they call New Year resolution, blah, blah, blah. So I saw it as an opportunity to also help us when we're making those resolutions, even though I know that sometimes they don't last, but just have that knowledge. And for those of us that are intentional, it will last once you have the right knowledge. Also, so most diseases don't start suddenly, they are built daily, and that's the truth. That's the truth. So the issue is that health is not luck, funny enough, whether you like it or not. It's a system. It's something you build. It's something you are deliberate about. In fact, even children are supposed to have, their bodies are growing and everything is about. Even they have issues. How much more adults, grown-ups, that you have already used most of your body and your body has gotten to the point where it's not functioning as it should function. So somehow you have to be deliberate. You have to do something about your health intentionally. And that's what I want you to do. I want to help you because, as a matter of fact, information is everywhere. Health is a result of daily input. The food we take, the movements, whether you move or you don't move, the stress and the toxins in your body. Nature already provides solutions. I mean, we have natural solutions, which, of course, because of the information that is everywhere, a lot of us don't even know. People don't even know what to do or what not to do. So I'm here to help break down to an extent. I may not be able to break, of course, but this kind of I'm hoping that this year, even though these days I really have gotten more busy. So, but I'm hoping that this year I can have this kind of webinars more frequently so that at least we can have a family of people that are doing the right thing about their health and can spread the gospel. For me, this is my own ministry. This is my own church. So, and you are my own audience. And my ministry is to talk about health. And that's what I'm here for. And that's what I intend to be. At least for the whole of this year, I want to be at your service to help you be top notch. Because the truth is that the challenges that we are facing in the world now, even the food that you are eating normally, even the so-called what is supposed to be healthy, can also become unhealthy. Maybe the way you take it, or maybe, because these days, of course, food are polluted with we have pollutions with insecticide or pesticide in the name of protecting us. So somehow you're eating those things are still toxins to your body one way or the other, and they're going to cause havoc. Our daily activity or stress, the fact that we have to go to work, you have to take care of family, stress, all of those things, they contribute to the state of your health. That's simple as that. So you need to know how to manage it so that you can get your health at its best instead of allowing it knock your health down. And that's what I'm here for you today. So naturally, when you align with nature, our body naturally to heal itself, all we do is just support the body, give it what it needs, and every other thing, and the body will take care of itself, knows what to do. If you remember at the beginning of this week, we started throwing out some flyers where hello. So I hope you guys were hearing me all this while.
No.
So I've been talking, you people did not hear me since.
Network did not allow.
At what point did you hear me last?
Flyers. That this week you send flyers.
Okay, and that's still good. We're still in a good place. Okay, so I started by sending
Yeah,
flyers.
I think I heard talked about stress and family stress. So I think that was the last thing I heard.
Okay. Let me get my slide. I don't know what happened to the network. Sorry about this. Really good. Just give me a minute. Let me put my slide. Okay, so I was talking about real food and fake food. So those flyers that we passed out initially, I think that's the first was about, and that's me trying to say things you should do this year that will actually keep your health in the topmost position. One of the major things, you can't talk about anything if you don't talk about what you're putting inside your body. And in simple terms, so we have, let me just break it down. We have 4 pillars of health. That's pillars, pillars, that's one whole health, naturally. And these 4 pillars comprises of your food, your diet, your lifestyle, your mental attitude, and then what do you call it? Supplements. Yes, that's where you have the herbs, supplements, essential, everything you use to support the body. But basically, your diet is at the top of it because, funny enough, your about 80 to 90% of your immune system is in your digestive system. And what is going into your digestive system is what you eat. Now, I said something like real food, fake food. It's as simple as that. If you stick to real food, you'll be healthier. And so increase your real food, reduce drastically. But I tell people that what you also do regularly, what you do every day is what has the ability to harm you. So if you eat real food, if you throw on the floor, if you throw in the ground, it will grow natural. Things that have been less processed, food that have been less processed. That's what I mean by real food. And then now, because these things are made from the soil, where they are real because they are coming from the soil, I always give this illustration to most of my webinars and most of my clients I have sessions with. Food, natural food or real food, they are made from the soil. Your skin, your body, our bodies are made from the soil. So if you take something from that soil and you put it in your body, they recognize themselves. They identify themselves. They identify themselves and they just complement each other. It does not fight each other. Now, when you do fake food, chronic, that's things that have been so processed, that have been broken, that are not recognizable, that your body cannot, it has, like when I say something, when something is processed, for example, in science, we have structures for everything. Your carbohydrate your complex carbohydrate, for example, is a structure of glucose in multiple forms. So there's a glucose structure, and then you now have it in multiple forms. So that's when you have monosaccharide, polysaccharide, depending on the number of glucose you have. So that's the structure. Now, when you have those over-processed food, the natural structure of that food has been denatured, broken. Like in the case of carbohydrates, for example, you have mono, polysaccharide, disaccharides. Poly are complex carbohydrates, which, because the chain is long, it will take time to break. And because your body will work to break it, it will also use up energy. So there will be no need for it to store energy in your blood or sugar in your blood as energy. And then there will be no need for insulin to be produced. And this is the basic of most people's health issues. Those fake food have done the work outside. So when they get into the body, they're just simple. The body easily breaks it down and then spikes your blood sugar. And the body, then it sends signals to your pancreas to produce insulin. And then this is a cycle that is going on. And insulin is an hormone that comes with inflammation. And in simple words, I also put it that it puts your body at war. So when you eat fake food, and when you are eating these things now, your body recognizes it as another thing apart from the process of digestion or producing insulin. Your body also doesn't recognize it anymore because it's not what it knows naturally. So it now also terms it, it sees it as a foreign body. And because of that, it's also trying to find ways to attack it and deal with it. And that's what we call inflammation. So these things causes inflammation chronic inflammation. Now, inflammation is supposed to be a good thing, a good process that that God created in our body, or a system that was created in our body to take care of deal with something foreign and get rid of it. But when we live in a life where every day we're now allowing our body to continue to be in that inflammatory state, then you are also not giving your body, that's like a body that is constantly at war. Now imagine a country that is at war and a country that has no war is at peace. The country at war is only trying to survive. The country that is at peace is thinking growth, doing things to strengthen itself, to grow, but that one, and that's exactly what happens to your body. So your body in the state of continuous inflammation is only trying to survive. And by so doing, is ignoring other activities, is ignoring the maintenance, is ignoring the healing. And that's why when you leave your body at that state for long, it eventually turns to what we now call chronic diseases, where you're now looking at medical science will now help you manage it. You say there's no cure. Meanwhile, these things could have been prevented from the beginning. Eating real food, more of real food. So fake food is recognized by your body. Fake food causes chronic inflammation, and inflammation equals immune stress. So the inflammatory process is an immune system response. And that's like that stress in your immune system. So a body constantly fighting cannot heal. Now, chronic inflammation, what happens when the body is always fighting? Weak and overreactive immune system. So what I'm trying to do is make you recognize some things you notice, some symptoms you notice in your body, so that when you know it, you know what you're dealing with. So we have a case of weak immune system. Now, weak immune system are people who frequently fall ill, especially frequently have cold, cough, catarrh, those kind of things. If you're somebody that does that, that means your immune system is a little bit weak. You need to do things to strengthen it and check what you are eating, like we're talking about fake food. Or it can cause an overreactive immune system. Now, overreactive immune systems are allergies like asthma. Most times there's an allergy to your body is reacting to something and it's now continuously dealing with that thing. So you have overreactive immune systems like that causes health issues like asthma, autoimmune diseases, so rheumatoid, lupus, different things. But autoimmune diseases, they're also caused by overreactive. Then you have these skin issues. They are all overreactive immune system. Now, chronic inflammation will also affect your hormonal, it also cause hormonal imbalance. Like I mentioned, that insulin, for example. what is hormonal imbalance? It's excess of some hormones and less of some hormones. I think I've done a video on that in the past. Now, I explained that chronic inflammation is also a process that produces a lot of insulin in your body. So if insulin is produced, other hormones, it has hormones that comes with it at that time. So insulin has its own fellow hormones. Why? When those ones are high, others are low. So then you most likely will have hormonal imbalance. See, that's the basic of most hormonal imbalance. So you need to, why am I stating all this? So that you know how far what you are eating in your body is causing to your body. And simple rule is eat more real food than fake food. So your digestive issues, of course, it will also affect digestive issues. When inflammation is going, when war is, you will not digest, your food will not digest properly, and that means you cannot absorb nutrients properly from. That's another thing it will cause. Of course, fatigue and pain. One of the signs of inflammation going on here is pain. Pain is, and that's why you must have heard most of these drugs that they say non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So, and they give people when they're having pains. Yeah, so pain is a major sign of inflammation, So, and of course, increased risk. So continuous inflammation, like I've explained, will also increase the risk of chronic diseases, high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, all those things can be tied to, they are all tied to inflammation, So in summary, chronic inflammation creates an environment where diseases thrive. So it's something you want to actually deal with, find a way to solve it. So eat real food, like I said, prevent your fake food. Then prevention is cheaper than treatment. That's one thing I said. Most times people are waiting for sickness to come before they start. Okay, so I always tell people, like, sometimes some people ask me, okay, so I'm fine, I'm all right, nothing is wrong with me, I don't feel any, do I still need to take herbal teas, or do I still need to use oils, or do I need to? My answer is yes. what I ask most times is, in your family history, are there any disease that is common? For example, do you have parents that had high blood pressure? Do you have parents that had arthritis? Just name something. Yes. So the fact that you have that here is already, you are already predisposed to it, whether you like it genetically. But that doesn't mean that you have to have it. That doesn't mean you have to have it. But you can prevent it. That's what I'm saying. So you don't wait until you start seeing the symptoms before you now start saying, let me treat. In my case now, my dad was hypertensive. I do things that I know takes care of my heart. I use herbs and oils that takes care of the heart. I avoid stress, anything that will give me tension that my heart will now be, I do everything that has to. So what I know that will cause those kind of things, I avoid and support those systems, because that's the thing you have to do. You have to support those systems so that the same thing does. It just means that you are predisposed. It doesn't mean that you have to have it. But if you don't do anything about it, it's likely it can happen. So instead of waiting for diseases to come, learn to prevent. And that can just be one. Some other cases, maybe you may be in an environment where maybe there's toxins in the air, and then happen to people, like people that live in dusty environments and all of that. Maybe there's now frequent cold and catarrh running through their nose every time. You really would need to do some preventive measures to prevent you having that every time, and also weaken your immune system. So that's what I mean by prevention is cheaper than treatment. So don't wait for the symptoms of the sickness before you now start saying you're treating. So symptoms are at the last stage. So most times when you have some of these symptoms, the pill has already. For example, I woke up this morning. Before I said yesterday, I was having this funny feeling in my throat. And of course, most times those things develop into, that would most likely, if I don't attend to it at that stage, can develop into a cough. Something as simple as gargling salt and water at that state will take care of that thing before it now gets more serious. And then that means I know that, okay, there's probably a virus in the air. I begin to fortify my body by making sure that I have the right oils I can use to protect myself against inflammatory respiratory issues, So don't wait for sickness. Attack it from the root. And the same thing, my son came back to it. He was complaining about the same. That means confirms that there's a virus. Just go and gargle immediately. And we don't, at the end of the day, there will be no need for me to start saying, okay, I want to buy some medicine or even treat any of those, because we've dealt with it from the beginning. So root causes begins years early. Yes, most of all these diseases that we are dealing with, they start, like I always tell people that in the case of diabetes, the day you were told that your blood sugar was high, it wasn't when it started. Funny. The situation has been there 10, 20 years back. Okay, look at this girl I was talking about, that she's 18. And she was already having this issue of PCOS, which points out to, if that is not addressed, the lifestyle and all of that is not addressed, there's a tendency for diabetes to come up, because that is already a sign that there's an issue with insulin. Now she can go ahead for the next 20 years. And nobody will notice any sugar issues or insulin until maybe after that 20, she goes and do a test, and then they find out that the sugar level. But the problem has been there since. But just because your body has been finding ways to manage it, that's not read in the report. But meanwhile, the same symptoms and the problems you even face when that situation comes, you're already facing it even in those days. So it's not about just the numbers. It's not about the numbers. It's about you recognizing those signs and even just preventing them. Learn most of all these things. Of course, like I said, I can't put everything in one day, but as we go in the year, I'll try to be having this kind of webinars where we'll be giving information so that you can learn how to take care of your body and prevent, diseases. So, like I wrote here, prevention saves money, saves time, and suffering. So why are you waiting for sickness if you don't do something about it? And then the best time to build health was yesterday, and the second best time is now. So, like I said earlier on, in this space, I try to form my own 4 pillars. As I said, 4 pillars to natural prevention. 4 pillars: real food against fake food. Your daily movement. Okay, so let me just use this opportunity to share my project research work. And just explain the importance of daily movement. So I worked with some rats. I did rat tests. And sorry, give me a minute. you know. So I worked with some rats, and what I was to do was develop diabetes in those rats. So I worked on diabetes. Were to develop diabetes. I fed those rats. We fed those rats with a diet that was high fat, and but the rats were in construed. I mean, in a restricted cage, so they can't move so much. So we fed them for like 6 weeks. My colleagues didn't even do up to 6 weeks. And as the time, and of course, we were checking their sugar levels. As at before that 6 week, a lot of them were already pre-diabetic. You will ask why. One, they were eating, but they didn't have the opportunity to move around. So the sugar levels, I mean, they didn't have, they couldn't. The why is because as they are not moving too much, they're in that space, they were not burning up the sugar they were using or producing. So at the end of the day, we're able to get them to that pre-diabetic state before we induce them with something that now give them diabetic. But we needed to get them to pre-diabetic state before we now, the induction can actually. The induction basically was just to give the pancreas, damage the pancreas a little bit. So, but if they were not pre-diabetic, damaging the pancreas might have not given them diabetes. So it was, of course, diabetes was confirmed, but it was very important that we got to that pre-diabetes there. And what really induced this was the fact that they were eating normal diets, fatty diets, basically, and their movement was restricted. So what am I saying? Because of our modern day lifestyle, and this also applies to me now, because I'm also most times working on my laptops and all of that. So the fact that you eat and then you don't move, your body will also still store it up again. So you need, in simple terms, you need to have movements regularly. Don't sit for 1 hour without getting up and taking a walk. Put your body in an active state where it's burning energy. That's why wake up in the morning, try to do some exercises, do some stretches. Movements will help, prevent blood sugar spikes. Movement will help circulation. That's another big issue. So some of the pain you are feeling anywhere, most times, is because there's not enough circulation. Blood carries oxygen. Oxygen is life. Now, if there's not much movement, and the blood is not flowing to a particular place, that means blood does not even, it carries oxygen and nutrients that place needs. If the blood is not flowing freely, that particular place cannot get the nutrients it needs, it cannot get the oxygen, which is the life it needs to function. So if you restrict yourself from movement, you also restrict your circulation. And that in a long time, if a part of your body is not getting enough nutrients and oxygen, after some time it will break down. If you are deprived from oxygen from breathing, what happens? Then cell death will need to happen. And of course, there will be pain and all of those things. So we need to work on them. So second health prevention issue, pillar of natural prevention is daily movements. Very important. Then stress regulation. I know that everybody, every day, one way or the other, faces stress one way or the other. You must have ways to deal with stress. Most of my patients, I tell them what to deal with stress. But most times in all of these things, most of these webinars, you must have stress techniques. Very important, stress management techniques. Either you are doing exercises, breathing exercises, you are using oils that are helping your body relax. Basically, you cannot be doing, basically, those are you are doing exercise, you are spending time with loved ones, making things happen, making yourself happy. You are smiling. Something as much as smile can help reset the stress, because your body is speaking your thoughts, speaking how you are feeling, and that is also determining stress response. Stress also will produce hormones that will also cause inflammation in your body. That's another problem with stress. It will also produce inflammation and stress also has its work of giving you energy, sugar in your blood. And when you don't use it, because your body senses that you have stress, so it gives you the sugar in the blood so that you can use it. But in this case, we don't use it. So then the insulin will have to come up again to clean. So you see how these hormones work. And of course, that's also inflammation going on. So you need to take care of stress, regulate your stress, and then support. The last pillar is natural support, like use herbs, essential oils, and things to support your body naturally. So these are 4 pillars. Why herbs work? I just tried to break down, do something. Why herbs work? Herbs have worked for 1,000 years. They have used herbs for many years. So herbs support your body. It doesn't suppress it. So when you're having, for example, now somebody is having headache, you take a bottle of, you take lavender, you take peppermint, and use it to massage. What it does is it helps your nerves that is probably causing that headache to relax. It helps you to naturally relax. So it doesn't suppress like most medicines will do. It supports, because like I said also, it's also natural. So your body knows what to do with it when it's introduced into your body. They address root causes, and they nourish your organs and your system. So they are the herbs that I take just as tonics. I tell people sometimes, I use them as tonic to just nourish them. There are things you do to nourish your body system. Because for the thing is like your body is almost like an engine, like a car that you are using. Sometimes you have to change the engine oil, don't you? Sometimes you have to change the parts. And it's like an engine. It's working. And car self, maybe you have some hours, you use the car to rest. Our own is we are using the body almost 24 hours. Even when we are sleeping, sometimes you are not even resting. Because we have to wake up for this night vigil. Or we have to wake up for reading, or we have to wake up to make that international call, to our loved ones. So many things will not even allow you to even allow the body to rest. So we need things that helps this body to naturally support its engine work. And that's where we come in. That's where the place of herbs and oils come in. So daily you should have some. Apart from that, herbs will give you anti-inflammatory properties. Herbs will give you antioxidant properties. These two major causes. Most diseases, what you find in most diseases is inflammation going on. There's a lot of free radicals, and free radicals is what antioxidant takes care of. There's a lot of acidity, maybe because of the food that you are eating also. It's also causing an imbalance in your pH level of your body. And these things are things that so free radicals, antioxidant takes care of. Herbs take yes, which you will find in most herbs. Anti-inflammatory, most herbs also have anti-inflammatory properties. So naturally, herbs will support your body naturally. And then nourish your systems and your organs and make them to function. So herbs don't fight your body, they support it. Now, essential oils, that's herbs. Essential oils are also herbs. It's just that they are extracted, they are the essence of the plant. That part. For example, we have this plant, Ephedra and Ocimum gratissimum. That's the botanical name. We call it Ephedra, Imcham, whatever. That's the smell, the aroma it has, for example. That aroma, that thing that really gives it that aroma is the essential oil. So when we extract those essential oils are things that are actually, so they are treated form of herbal medicine. And they are so strong because they're very volatile. So they are small particles, they can pass your skin barriers, they can pass your brain barriers, which a lot of medicine, especially brain cancers and all of those things, they've not even chemotherapy, most times have not been able to pass through those barriers. But essential oils these days, even in the pharmaceutical companies, are used as like a carrier to pass some of these medicine into the different parts of your body that you want to. So essential oils are powerful, concentrated herbal medicines, plant extracts. They support your immune system. They support your stress. They help you regulate stress. They help you with digestion, and they help you with inflammation, which is pain. When used correctly, because of the concentration and how it is, you must know how to use it correctly, and you must use it safely so that it can be effective and not cause damage. Very important. And when used wrongly, it becomes ineffective or even dangerous. So it's very important. So the problem most people face with some of these things is that there's a lot of wrong information out there. And that's why I like to put myself out. A lot of my colleagues will tell me that you're wasting your time. People will not listen until they become sick. Before they come at me. Because we're in school together, we're in programs together, and these are well-educated people. And I tell them that I'm just taking the prevention space. I'm having webinars. I'm throwing out contents that are educating people. they'll tell me you are wasting your time. People don't listen. So, but I also know that there are a lot of misinformation out there. And that's why the more that people that have the right information keep quiet, the more they miss. For example, when I was talking about my project, so basically we're trying to test the effects of a particular herbal formulation that we formulated on diabetes. And, so we had it in different doses. We had it in 50 milligram, 100 milligram per kg, and 200 milligram. And we ran severe tests. So we're checking the effects on their blood sugar level. We're checking the effects on their liver, their kidney, and their pancreas. Now, you'll be surprised that the 50 milligram one that we used had was effective on the sugar level, was okay on the pancreas and the liver and kidney. Didn't have any bad effects. But on the sugar level was not very strong, it was out of balance. So the first time we used it, the rats' blood sugar came down. But the next day, which blood sugar had spiked. So that was to tell us that wasn't the appropriate dose. The one that was 100 milligram was perfect. The sugar levels were okay, all true. As we were using it, the sugar levels were dropping. The test we carried out on their liver and their kidney, the 100 milligram, was very useful. I mean, it helped fix those organs. It didn't, the damage, because we had controls that we were checking it. So the damage that the medicine we get, that one was able to fix it. But guess what? The 200 milligram brought down the blood sugar level, but affected the liver, affected the kidney. No, sorry, affected the liver, affected the pancreas. And I think the kidney. So most times there are a lot of information that either is causing damage or is half truth. And when you start taking something for half truth, it will not, sometimes it may even make you feel that you are treating that situation. But guess what? That situation comes back, like I said, in the 50s, these were real life cases that I saw with my own eyes. It was very educative for me. The 50 milligram initially brought down the blood sugar level. The next time we're going to check the blood, it was higher than the initial blood sugar levels it had when we induced it. So sometimes the information is very, very important. Your source of information, you have to be very careful where you're listening to. So there's wrong information everywhere online. So there's poor quality of products. So sometimes like I just said, 50 milligrams. And then sometimes you have poor quality of product, something you say did not work. Because also in production, there's also what we call standardizations. The old good manufacturing processes, or the way you produce things, sometimes in the process of the production, they have lost the medicinal part of that herbs. So there are a lot of things to be considered. Sometimes there's no guidance, no dosage, which is the popular one. People say herbal medicine has no dosage. That's not true. I just described the research that we are carrying on. And that research is not just that they are carried, it is a continuous plan for the development of a particular drug. So this research, we have tested the dosages that will be good. So there is information, guidance on dosage. Then guesswork. People do guesswork instead of knowledge. They just, my father used to use this kind of thing for this, and they start using. They don't know which one, what is doing, or whether it's working or not. So knowledge is the difference between healing and harm. Yes. So you can use something that would heal you or harm you, but what makes the difference is knowledge. So what should you do? How to take control of your health? Yeah. I have given you information, 4 basic things you need to look at. What you're putting inside your body, your food, movements, deal with stress, and support your body with herbs and oils or natural things, supplements, all of that. I'll still come to a point in this year that I'll talk about supplements, whether we should use supplements or not. I'm actually writing I've been writing a paper about it. Well, God will help me to finish. So how to take care of your control of your health this year? 1, learn before using. Get the right information before using it. Build a personal prevention system. So work on prevention, plan it. It's something that you have to be intentional about. Use nature intelligently, and then be proactive, not reactive. Don't wait for the problem to come before you start treating. And then, so why did like I said earlier on, I created this webinar today because most people use essential oil wrong. And I talk, sometimes people think I'm talking too much about essential oils. I do herbs too. I sell herbs too. I have, but most times my issue with herbs, there are some herbs that I can recommend for people to take, just like tonics, take normally for different, depending on what you're trying to achieve. But most times you find me talking about essential oils because these are like the simplest thing for me, that I can also be very, I can be lazy with consistency. Essential oils are things that are so easy for me. I carry them in my bag. They're everywhere. They are around me. At any point in time, I can pick it and use it. So they are easy, and they are the use is as simple as inhaling it, or maybe there's pain somewhere, dilute it, massage it, or maybe I ate something or something somehow, maybe in my cycle or period or something, and I'm bloated. I know what to do to ease myself, or constipate. A lot of simple ways. Immune system, like I said, I talked about this throat now. And of course, immediately I started inhaling peppermint eucalyptus oil. So it attacks that virus from where it's coming. It attacks it immediately. So, and that's the reason why I talk about essential oils a lot, because it's like the simplest way to help yourself prevent diseases, treat complex issues things that seem complex. I have enough. It's just that I'm not one person, because I'm not a Gen Z. So I wasn't born in the generation that is so easy to just put everything online. I don't know how to do that. So, but most times I get a lot of feedback from my clients about the use of essential oils, what they use it for, how it helps them in one way or the other. And, I can't put out everything, but it just saves people. The last time I posted something, the guy was, in fact, was also a natural health, a herbal person. And he didn't know about essential oil until he joined my course. And he was having headache, which he said normally he would have been using medicine or something. I can't even remember. And he just decided to use, which was part of what he learned in the course, some oils. And before he knew it, that went. And many cases, I had another student who had, after attending, she fell and she had a strained ankle. Now she's elderly. When somebody's elderly, of course, healing may take longer. And it was swollen. People were like, you have to go to the hospital, go to the hospital. She said she did x-ray, all she was using was this essential oil. Because fortunately for her, she already knew about essential oil even before she took the training. Only used oil. She traveled to the UK, came back. So for you to know that she's very enlightened, she's not somebody. She went to the UK. When she came back, she told me that her leg is already going on, but she's still wearing flat. She can't wear heels. Last time I spoke with her, she said she's wearing her heels, everything, but and she only used essential oil. She didn't. Somebody else will have that situation. We'll start loading up on those anti-inflammatory drugs. Can you guys hear me? We just change this network. Are we following me? Can you hear me? Because I see low network. I don't want
to I hear you. Yes. I heard was anti-inflammatory.
Okay. Anti-inflammatory. Okay. Oh yes. So thank you. Let me leave the network. So sometimes some people, if it was another person will most likely, some other people will start using anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen, Felvin, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's saying it. I'm sure some of us, if you are a social media person, you would have heard them now shouting, a lot of people shouting about these drugs. They damage kidney. I did a video, I think, about this where I explained how they work. And these are painkillers that people use monthly. We have cases of people who have monthly menstrual pain, and every month they're using painkillers. I have clients that are suffering from severe endometriosis that has caused buildup in the fluid buildup, ascites in the lungs, collapse of lungs, and all of this is because and this is a young girl, somebody, I think she's just 30, but because she has used Felvin and all these painkillers monthly, every month for pain, and then she had this problem came up. So, this is something that she could have avoided if she knew this information. So it's very important. And simple. I always say using peppermint. This is peppermint essential oil on your lower abdomen, especially for menstrual pain, will ease you of that pain most times. You don't need to go and use all those medications. And of course, there are other things you can do to ease you. So avoid these medications. They are only for, I tell people, not that I'm against them, but they are for emergency, and they are not for dependency. Emergency, maybe somebody had a surgery and the pain is unbearable, you use and stop. In some cases, even in that case, some people become addicted to it. So we need to be mindful of all, and this is the reason why I always talk about essential. So most people use this, some people use essential. Like the first time I knew about essential oil, when I started doing my research, it was strictly for, most of the people I found out were using it, I was talking about, they're using it for hair. It was strictly for hair, and the skin. Meanwhile, essential oil is beyond far, and later it's far beyond that. So sometimes people don't even know the power of what they have, even though most times they also have fake oils like that don't really do this. Essential oils are powerful. Used correctly, they support your body deeply. I told you they are small volatile particles that work with your limbic system, your nervous system, and penetrate into your body to heal, to help, to help your body system, to help treat whatever the situation is, from the root cause. So, they're effective or even harmful. Social media misinformation, no understanding of body system. Yes, also you have to understand your body system to also know what is going on, what to use. No safety or dosage knowledge, no structure or guidance. These are the problems people have when it comes to essential oil. Power without knowledge. So what is so why I've spent my hours talking about all of these things, just to increase knowledge for most people, is that you know that there are things that you can use to help yourself to prevent big problems or even to nourish your body naturally. Like I said, herbs are part of it. Essential oils are part of it. Last year, I started essential oil training. That was just the beginning. At the end of it, before I'm hoping, even though I already have most of my students that did the essential oil training, are already putting pressure on me to start the herbal medicine training. But herbal medicine is huge. So I'm still taking my time, and I still want more people to, because even me, when I started with essential oils, and it was so effective enough for me. It was COVID that made me to now start doing full herbal. And it's very interesting. It's good actually. So eventually, I know that before the end of the year, I will also start herbal medicine courses. But I started this essential oil training courses just to help people. One, I said that time for even those that want to do business, because we are not even many in this space, funny enough. So when I said, if you want to do business, you are thinking of something to do, because with essential oil, you can have, like I always say, part of the things that causes problem to people. Your deodorant, your perfume, those things you spray around your body, they are loaded with toxins like aluminum that stop your blood and your body and bind with other things that your body is supposed to be using and prevent your body from using them. They also have parabens and things that are like they tamper with your hormones generally. And then you are using them in areas where you have your lymph node, which is supposed to be helping your body detox. Now you use them, you block the detoxification process in your body. So the best thing is just to go for natural. I don't know why human beings like to, we are the one that caused the problem for ourselves. God created things and made them safe and good for us. But we now go ahead and then complicate it and then go. So when it now becomes a problem, then we now run back to the natural or the nature. So at a point in my life, I was selling essential oils, deodorants. Yeah, we're packaging them in roll-on bottles. And yeah, it was doing very well. This was all before COVID. And we're doing very well. So you blend everywhere. I have respiratory blends because children, because that's how they develop their immune system. That's another thing to most parents here, most mothers. Don't be panicking most times when you see your children falling ill, maybe from frequent colds or even fever or something. Their body is you're just exposing, their body is getting exposed to the viruses and things that are available that are in the air. And they have to go through this process to develop the immune system. Now, those things your vaccine does. What are the vaccines? Vaccines are also introduction of that same virus into your body. It's only that maybe they made the virus harmless, but they're introducing it into the body to just make the body recognize that virus. So the immune system's duty is to learn to attack, because it's seen it, it will attack it. And in the process of attacking it, it can cause fever. That fever they are experiencing is the heat trying to trap the virus. But the body functions so well that it knows how far that heat should go, and then it regulates and brings it down. That's why you see somebody will have high fever now, and then the next minute is sweating. This is your body's way of managing the temperature, regulating your temperature in the body. So sometimes this fever, and also it's just your body, the child's body working. And after the system keeps a record of that virus. Now, when you go and use all those medications you use for them, it tells the immune system, don't do your work. Don't bother, just relax. Don't keep a record. And that's why this now becomes frequent, because the virus will come again. The immune system has not been able to fight it before. It doesn't recognize it, because when it stores a record of it, the moment it comes again, it knows the armies that it wants to send to go and attack it. But if you use drugs or things to stop that process, the next time the virus comes into the body again, or similar virus comes, it has to start the process again. And that means each time, every time, because you have those viruses in the air, there's nothing you can do about it. So that's why you have to be very, especially for mindful of using medications for your children at every sign. Or some of them will start using antibiotics. Antibiotics are supposed to be for emergency. Antibiotics, they will see cough and catarrh. You got me buying what's the name, augmentin, some kind of antibiotic. They will go to the pharmacy, they will give them malaria medicine. And these things are damaging their digestive system that they are just developing. I gave an example in one of my first son. I didn't know anything as at that time. It was all because he had some condition he was scoring. So every month he would fall sick, like maybe twice. And the doctors kept giving him antibiotics. And this boy was always falling ill. He didn't escape it. At a point, I don't think he was up to 4, he started having decay tooth. His teeth was now becoming black inside. Of course, because those things, the bacteria that are supposed to be guarding, because in our body, we have good and bad bacteria on your skin everywhere. So when you now start using those antibiotics, they kill both good and bad. The meaning of antibiotic is life, anti-life. Biotic means life. So when they say something is anti, it's both good and bad. I'm not against it, but it needs to be used only when it's necessary. But in Nigeria, we abuse it. So most times what you use them for, you don't, for example, a child is having running fever, peppermint, or depending on the age of the child, lemongrass, some of these oils can help the body naturally manage that fever. Or is having running nose, all you have to do is have the child's handkerchief, put the oil inside, tell the child to be inhaling it or using it to clean one way or the other, or just hang it on the clothes. Let because you just need little. So let the child one way or the other be inhaling it. Or if the child is at home, and that's if the child is going to school, if it's at home, use a diffuser. Or just massage under the child's feet, rub around the chest. It'll be all right, instead of using all of these things. So because of all of this, that's why I started this essential oil training that last year. And it's still on again. And I'm still giving even the opportunity for people to also even join. For those who have not taken the program, you still have the opportunity to join. And because I've looked at, okay, so how can I help you? This is the beginning of the year. And I know that people have energy to actually take steps because of resolutions. Yeah. So, and a good step that you can take that can keep you and make you to keep doing that thing and not just dropping it is having the right knowledge about. And that's why I took this program, and also introducing you to this training, because I can't give all information about, I cannot share everything in one. So that's why I put everything together in a training, in a course that I started last year. And because of, so let's have more people doing it. I want to give it at a discount again for this year, just maybe this January, for those, even though I'm saying this now, I'm trying to not commit myself too much because I may not be too available. But of course, the course is there, the program is there for you. Once you register for the program, you have it. You have your what to go and your courses to read at your pace. So because of that, but just for more people to actually take advantage or to learn more, I decided to just bring down the price again for us for this January. For now, this is just coming to my head right now, so I've not even decided. But for now, I'm going to give this course again for 20. Last time I started with 20 and then it's increased. So now again, I'm going to release this course again for 20,000. For now, I'm saying till January. I'm saying for this January. I cannot promise you in February, but for this January, I'm going to be releasing this course to anyone that is interested at that at 20,000. And in this course, why do you really need this course? Like, I try to break it down to 4-week courses. There are some, sometimes we'll have live classes, maybe 1 or 2 live classes, depending on how the students are responding. That's the truth. If you are not showing me interest, the course is self-explanatory itself. So, but normally I owe you at least 1 live class, if not 2. Normally, and I try to run it up in 4 weeks. So, and this course is actually 12 lessons, comprehensive. When I took this course, like I always tell people, I took this course in 2017. I paid $700 for this course. I'm giving it out today at 20,000. Is that lesson I learned from that course? I know what I've used it for. I know the businesses I have used it for. I've set up companies for people. People that have been trying to achieve things for years. I know how much money I made from it. I've, met. Let me not begin to go there. So, but the knowledge you will get from this thing. So, 12 comprehensive lessons that can be completed. I will try to round up between 4 weeks. But of course, you have your notes. You can always go back to it at any time. It's self-paced, in a lifetime assets. And it combines different kind of, there are some foundations. It talks about biblical foundations, scientific research, practical applications, Then we talk about 11 major body systems. When I was talking, I said you have to understand your body system. As in natural medicine, the way we treat diseases is not just to work with symptoms of that person. We are looking at the body system, which system is sluggish, which system is having issues, and then that's what is determining what to do. That's how we determine what to look at, because it's the system, it's not that symptoms we are seeing. That's just that system that is not functioning. So in this training, we talk about the 11 major body systems. So in those, when we talk about those body systems, we talk about the diseases that affect those body systems, how you can use essential oils, and I even put a bonus on how you can use other supplements to improve those diseases, those health. There's also emphasis on safety, ethics, proper use. It talks about how to use essential oils for your hair, your skin. Even the business aspect of it. It's all of you cannot. It's packed with a lot. So when you do these things, you'll be confident. Doing what the things you'll be able to do after this, when you have this knowledge, you understand essential. Even we have the chemistry, essential oil chemistry. You know what oil to use, why and how. So the oils to use per time, why you should use it, how you use it, how it's supporting your body, how it's working. The supporting the body system by system. You will know how to use oils to support your body system by system. How to use oil safely for adult, children, pregnancy, family. That's the thing. We have all of these things packed in the course. Of course, then there's also the DIY blends, the protocols and formulations of what for lots of all these health issues. So we covered the body systems that are covered. We covered the respiratory and immune system, digestive and gut health, nervous system and the limbic system, hormonal and endocrine system, musculoskeletal and pain system, skin, reproductive, cardiovascular, lymphatic system. All the major body systems were covered. So you're not just chasing symptoms, you are understanding the root issue of whatever. So you can use it for yourself. You can also now begin to learn to use it to help others, use it. So I just like to okay, so let's just say, who's this training for? All this one is just, as far as I'm concerned, all the talk I've talked is enough for you to know who the training is for. So it's for people who want to prevent disease naturally, for parents and caregivers. Parents, very important, because whatever you do with your child's health now determines how strong that child when they grow up. So wellness, for people who are wellness enthusiasts, like when I started, it was just basically, of course, because I wanted to prevent disease, but I also had this interest for wellness. Healthcare and holistic practitioners, faith-based individual. In this same course, we talk about these essential oils. They are ancient. I'm not the one that just. It's not just a normal. Modern day fad or modern days things. But no, they've been used even in the Bible. Essential oils were talked about in the Bible. Egyptian days was there. Greek was there. Europe was there. So all of this history, we have it in the class to talk about that. Of course, the faith-based individuals. I have some students that they use essential oil for the spiritual aspect. That's their business. So when they saw me, when they saw the course, they actually applied for the course to learn the other part, the health part of essential. But they've been using it for spiritual things. So, but in this course, we talk about the biblical use of it. So anyone ready to use oil responsibly, this course is for you. So basically, I would just like to stop talking. It feels like I've been talking for hours. And I don't know why I'm giving this because I've already explained it. Let me just stop here and give room for questions. Give room for your questions. So final decision, let me just finish my last one. Health is your responsibility, it's a responsibility. If you don't invest in prevention now, you eventually pay for treatment later. So the ball is in your court. Thank you for listening. Now we're open for question and answer. So that I said I wanted to use not more than 90 minutes. I've used 7 o'clock to 8. We use practically 1 hour. So we have maybe another 15 minutes to just round up. So the floor is open. Let me know what you think. If you have questions, let me know. And you can either write in the chat box or you can ask a question directly. Thank you, Anthony. Hello, do I have people in the house with me or have I been talking to myself? Hello? Okay. I assume we don't have questions.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Well done. It's a good,
Thank you, ma'am.
it's good listening to you. So I want to ask the essential, is it ingestible? You can
No,
swallow it
so
or what?
no. So basically, some essential oils can be ingested, but I don't always recommend. Why? Because first of all, to do that, you have to be 100% sure of the quality, and also the dosage really, really, really has to be very small and well diluted. So essential oils are not. You don't need to ingest it to get the health benefits. In this course, like I'm talking about, you see under your feet. That's one of the things we took in this course. You have all the nerve endings under your feet. You can target your different body systems from under your feet without even ingesting it. So this is called reflexology. We talked about it. In the training. It's talked about in training. So you just need to inhale. You need to apply topically, and then basically you don't need to ingest. In most cases, you can in some cases, but for public viewing, my answer is no. So, have I answered the question? Thank you. Any other question? I think I saw some hands. Okay, any other questions? Then I'm done. Okay, no questions.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Auntie Buki, good evening. Long time.
Yes, so
And thank you for everything. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me going. I've told you one day I'm going to share my testimony. Don't worry. I'm still packing them together.
Okay.
I want to ask. This is your training.
Okay, is your name I did not know. Now I know it's talking from your voice. My customer
Yes, Abeokuta. I want to ask the training. Thank God. Is this something that I'll be able to do the oil by myself by the end of the training? Because I will appreciate that, because even reaching out to you buying almost
I
every
know.
time is.
I know. So the thing is that as in the training, you will learn how to make essential oils are actually made through a process of distillation. It may not be you. I mean, the process is explained in the training,
You're
but
always busy, as you said. Is it
hello, the network.
I think the network is bad. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Okay, I'm asking that after the training, will I be able to do the oil, the essential oil, and some other thing you normally buy from you myself?
Okay, so when it comes to you buy you buy herbs, or we're talking about you also buy essential.
Is
So we will talk about essential oils here. Maybe when we start doing the herbal
the
medicine.
training, will it be helpful
Yeah, I'm trying to answer you. In the
to
training,
do it myself, or it will be all about?
yes, in the training, you will learn how to do essential oils.
Yes.
But it requires equipment. Do you get? It will require you to get some equipment. So you can do it. It's actually doable. But in the training, you'll be taught how to do it or how it is done. The process is going to be explained. But I will just say that unless you are really interested in production, it may not be something that you would really, it depends, unless you really want to have, you want to have a production line where you are not just using for your personal self, you are also selling. That's when it will be worth you manufacturing. But of course, in the training, I would also be exposing to you sources. So where you can also buy from, because you already buy from me. So of course, as a student, you get discounts of you get discounts, there are discounts. There are other things, if it's somebody that wants now go, if you are a business person, for example, now you want to go to large production of essential or large. I introduce my students. I have students that are not even in Nigeria and working on setting up essential oils sales for them in that place, where they will buy it from, even not from me, from the countries where they will get how I share all those things in the course. That's for people that really want to do business about it. But for you, you would always, I don't think you will want to go into production. But you can always get oils from me. Don't worry.
Who tells you I would not want to go into the production? Let's wait till then anyway. At least
Okay.
I've gotten the answer that I want. Thank you.
Okay. All right. No problem. You're welcome. Thank you
very much.
Madam Gladys, I can see your hands up.
Okay.
You have the floor. Good
okay.
evening.
Good evening. Okay, I want to ask for the essential oil training because I'm a therapist and I work with a lot of essential oils. Well, I think going into learning more about essential oil will help me for the tricks of the trade. What's and what's not, and the different essential oil for different uses and all. That's for me basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question I want to ask is during the form of the training, do you have a handbook or it has to be something online?
So we have online, and at the end of the day, we have you have to pay some money for the handbook, which is the same thing as what you have online. So for the students, most times the book is sold the handbook is sold at 5,000. So you can have that. At the same time, you can also go to the online platform and have it anytime.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe when I will register for the class, I would like to have the manual handbook.
And that's fine. That's fine. I can always reach out.
Okay, thank you.
I'm glad to meet my fellow therapist.
That's nice.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Any other question? Okay, we call it a day. So we can continue the conversation on our platforms any time of the day, not any time of the day. Anyway, at night I'm sleeping. I will not answer. But we can continue. Any further questions? I might just drop more information about it. Maybe the brochure. I could actually drop the brochure of the course so that you can know what you're getting. And maybe details, information of how to assess the cost. Yes, we'll drop all of that. And if you have any further question, you can always ask. Either you ask me directly or you ask on the platform. So I want to believe that we do not have any other questions anymore. And I want to say thank you for everyone that attended and listened and participated. I really appreciate you, and I do not take it for granted. And I hope that I have been able to also deliver what I promised that made you attend, and the time was worth it for you. I also hope that too. So thank you once again, and have a good night's rest. See you in the group. Bye.
Good night. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It was worth it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.